So we are going to continue to talk about what we've been talking about all week, which is ways to write numbers. And we're going to really focus today on when they try to trick you, because I was looking at the assessment that we took for this. So remember, we've been talking about the 4 different ways that you can show a number. I want you to think about them for a second. What were they? We talked about 2 on Monday, then we talked about 2 on Tuesday, then we talked about all of them together yesterday. Do you remember all the ways? Excuse this.
Right, bus 97. Bus 97. Please report to the cafeteria.
That might happen again, but I have to sneak this in before I have to go home. So we've talked about standard form, which is the regular old way to write a number. Expanded form, when we stretch it out. Word form, when we actually write the letters that make the number, like 1, O-N-E. And then model form, which is using base 10 blocks to show the number. So I think we're all pros with building a number or showing a number when it is like 123 and you do 1 flat, 2 sticks, and 3 cubes. But I think it becomes a little tricky when you can show those in other ways. And that's what our assessment was doing. They were trying to trick you because there was more than one right answer. So that's what we're going to talk about today, how you can make sure that you're answering all of the questions correctly, even when it doesn't look exactly how you think it might. All right. The first thing that you need to do, so remember, you're going to log back out of this after you listen to the whole lesson, and you're going to do some of the interactive slides on Pear Deck. I'm hoping that you're liking that. We are going to count from 200 to 400. Now, I will warn you that this is a really long video. This is a video that's like 23 minutes long, and this guy counts from 1 all the way to 1,000 by ones. I've clipped it, so it starts at 200, but I couldn't clip the last half of it. So you just need to stop listening to it once you get to 400, or else you will be counting for way too long. All right, so from 200 to 400. And then I gave you some little exercises that you could do while you're counting. So when you're counting 200 to 250, you can touch the sky. 200, 201, 202, 203, 204, 205. Then you can do squats from 251 to 300, bicep curls from 301 to 350, and then you can end with jumping jacks. That's a lot of jumping jacks. So if you need to end with walking in place, that's fine too. But remember, you just need to be practicing since it's one of our skills. All right. This is going to be an interactive slide. I'll make it an interactive slide right now. I want you to practice counting the money. So I want you to count it. I'm going to make it a drawing one because sometimes it's helpful to be able to write the value next to the coin so you can remember. Oops, here it is. So what I mean by that is if I needed to remember that this was a quarter, I could write 25 above it. I could write 10 above each dime, 5 above each nickel, and then 1 above each penny. And that would help me remember how to count those when I got to that point. So you're going to count all the coins, and I want to know what the total is. When you get the answer, I want you to write it with the dollar sign. So let me show you. This is not the answer what I'm writing. I'm just showing you how I want you to write it. I want you to make sure you write it with the dollar sign, $1 decimal point.
Students at ride bus 156. Bus 156. This is final bus call. Bus 156. Please report to the cafeteria.
Okay, so again, this is not the answer to this slide. I just want you to know that when you're writing your answer, I want dollar sign, how many dollars you have, then the decimal point, and then how many cents you have. I want you to get into the good habit of writing your money like that. All right, then this is a draggable. It's not a draggable yet, but I want you to drag the dot. Let me add the dot. I feel like I made this and then it got mixed up. Okay, so we have been talking about words that mean addition or words that mean subtraction. I can also put those slides in. But I want you to drag your dot. There's 4 words, only one of them mean addition. And so which one of these words, difference, takeaway, have left, and some would mean addition? Remember, we want to listen for those key words in story problems or word problems because they help us figure out what we need to do to solve it. And if you don't know which one is which, it can make a huge difference in what your answer is. So that's why it is so important that you know. Difference, takeaway, have left, and some. You're going to drag your dot or your icon to the word that means that. All right. Like I said before, and this is what we're going to spend a lot of time on, I'm going to open up a whiteboard. I thought it was already open. Man, I think I'm closing things. That you can, let me do that now, write the same number in the same way, but you can show it differently. And that's what I really want us to know because it will help us get things right if we start thinking about things like that. So let me open the whiteboard. All right, so let me read that again. Sometimes you can show the same number in the same form, but in a different way. So here's my whiteboard. All right, I want to show the number, so I'm going to write it in standard form. And when I say this, it really only goes for expanded and model form. 241. Okay. Now, if I were to write this in expanded form, the way that I would first think of it is writing 200 because I have a 2 in the hundreds place. So 200 plus 40 because I have a 4 in the tens place plus 1 because I have a 1 in the ones place. I'm going to type for this next one because it's going to be easier. But I could also do standard form, or I could also take this number that's in standard form. I wrote it in expanded form. I could also write it in expanded form like this. 200s plus 4 tens plus 1 1. That would mean the same thing. So the number 241, I have an expanded form here, and I have an expanded form here. Now here's where it gets a little tricky. I want you to think, how many tens are in one flat? So I know that there are 10 cubes in one stick, but how many sticks are in one flat? There are 10 sticks in one flat. So sometimes I can break that apart. And so if I wanted to write this in expanded form again, what if I only have 100? I have 100, but I'm still making this number. So if I have 100 and I add that to my tens place, so I took one of my hundreds away, I broke it apart into sticks, and I'm adding those sticks that made the 100 into my tens place. So I'd have the 4 tens that I already had plus the 10 sticks or the 10 tens that I took from the 100. So I would now have 14 tens plus 1 1. It's a little confusing, right? That's not, so I wanted to show you that because that's not how I think of it right away when I see expanded form. I wouldn't look at this and say, that's 241, but it is. If you take the time, say, okay, I have 100. I know that there's 10 tens and 100, so that's another 200 plus 4 tens, 40. 241. It all means the same thing, which is really important when you go back to do your assessment again or any time that question's being asked. All right. So here we are. Here is a model, and this is also something important. I feel like I'm giving you so much important information today. So yesterday in-person kids did a independent practice that looked like this. And maybe you did it too. And while we were in the middle of this independent practice, I realized that I haven't explicitly or directly told you how to write this. So let me show you some of the things that I saw. Yesterday, I saw some people write, oops, we don't want size 4, we want size 40. Oh, it's tiny. I saw some people write this. Okay. I saw some people write this because they knew that if it's 1,000, you need to put a comma. But neither of those is correct. So let me show you how to write it. Even if you see a model or a standard or an expanded form, you always have to save the spot for that place. So I like to think of it as you're lining up. That person might not be there, but their spot is still there. So in school, you have a number order or a number that you line up in, a way that you line up. And even if Tom is in that school, well, that cubby is still Tom's. And it's the same as numbers. I don't see any flats here, but it still exists. Just because it's not here doesn't mean that he's gone forever. So you have to hold his place. And you do that by writing a 0. So I see that I have one block, which is equal to 1,000. So I'm going to write a 1 for my 1,000 spot. And I'm going to do my comma. I don't have any flats, but remember, he's still there. I still have to hold his place. So I'm going to write a 0 because I don't have any, but it shows that that's where it would be. Then I have 2 sticks in 1 cube. So that is how you would write this. Now, what if I got rid of my sticks? Oh my gosh, my computer is acting all wonky and slow. It's like frozen now. Well, won't let me click on anything. Okay, there we go. Maybe now we'll go back. Okay. I'm scared. All right. We'll try it very slowly. Okay. So I got rid of my 10s. So now I not only don't have any flats, but I also don't have any 10s. But I still need to hold that 10s place. So I would write it 1,000. There's no hundreds, 0. There's no 10s, 0, 1. All right. So in the next 2 Pear Deck slides, you're going to practice writing 1 in standard form and 1 in expanded. So this one says write in standard form. So you'll draw what this would be. Now I notice there's not any hundreds here either. So remember what I said about holding the spot. Then this is the same one, but this time you're going to write it in expanded form. We've already done the whiteboard. Okay, now this is a little tricky. So we talked about the different ways that you can write a number. I told you that sometimes, remember back here, that this is all expanded form, but it just looks different. So here you are going to look at all these boxes. There's 2 slides just like this. And you're going to circle the ones that are 380. Now remember, I might try to trick you. There's some standard, there's some expanded, and there's some model forms. So let's get started. I'll do one with you. I'm going to put a circle around one that says 380. So here's down here 200, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Okay, well that's 280. That doesn't equal 380. 300 plus 8 tens. Well, that's 380. So I'm going to put a circle around it. And to make it transparent. All right. So see how many ways you can find. I promise you there's more than 3. Same with this. This is circle all the ways to show 250. Same thing. These are all Pear Deck slides. Then you're going to drag your icon to the correct number. This says 500 plus 20 plus 9. So I want to know which one of these says that. Then kind of same thing. Would you use addition or subtraction if you were going to say what is the sum of 124 and 112? So you're just dragging, you're not solving it. But would you use addition? Is sum an addition word or is sum a subtraction word? All right, then these are your independent practices. If you want to just do this on a separate sheet of paper, that would be the best thing. So you're going to draw a box to make it look just like this for 1007 and 1390. You're going to show me what this would look like in standard form, expanded form, word form, and model form. And then on the last slide, you must do extra math, and then these are packet choices that I sent home. So you may do any of those. All right. Please let me know how you're feeling about this. Are you thinking, okay, yeah, I really feel good about writing numbers in different ways. Oh, I was feeling really good, but now that I know that it can be written in many different ways, but be the same thing, it's confusing. I want your feedback, so let me know. Good luck. I hope it goes well. I hope you're feeling confident. And if not, we will work more on it tomorrow. Bye.